Hello everybody, really appreciate you guys being here today. I just want to start out by asking a simple question to everybody. If you could raise your hand if you were one of the people that did the Google search for Will Smith eating spaghetti AI. Okay. There's a few people I see raising their hand here. I'm one of those folks as well who did that search. And the reason I brought that up is that initiated 3 years ago when people started trying to create videos and create realism when it came to media. We just weren't at the place we are today. And it's a huge, huge, huge development from then till now. And in the past 3 years, there's been a lot of development. The title of this part, right, is really focusing on where we're going, what the direction is when it comes to media AI, right? And so for that, I have a wonderful panel here. We have Gary Su from Tencent Cloud. We also have John He from PixVerse. And then we have Jose Ballestas as well from Magnific. So to get things started, we'll go ahead and just kick it off and we'll start to ask some questions. So my first question is actually going to be to everybody here. I'm going to ask you guys the same question. Okay? And that question is, over the past year, what is the one unexpected way that you've used your product or technology, or excuse me, that people have used your product or technology, and how did it influence your product roadmap? So I'll start with Gary, please.
Okay. Hi everyone. So I think the one unexpected way our customer use our product is so a few months ago we built for demo purpose we built a skit, and then we use WorkBody try to demo our customer like a lot of our video post processing features. And then turns out we tried to provide those media post-processing features to our customer, but turns out they are interested in code-body and these skills. So we actually, that's only for demo purpose. And that's a few months ago. And turns out we tried to working on the agent, and that really changed our roadmap.
Oh, that's very insightful. It certainly shows some exciting ways that customers have used your product. Very cool. Please.
I would say that a surface that totally, I would say, changed the game for us in terms of seeing what users are doing differently was when we released MCP to serve it on any surface or any agent. We start seeing users start hacking their own way to kind of imbue our product on surfaces that we weren't even considering. To give you an example, we saw they were using it in Roblox. They were using it on also a more I would say more professional one would be Shortgrid, and that gives us a lot of, I would say, cues for us. Okay, maybe we need to do a plugin integration with Roblox. Maybe we need to do more plugins for or a better integration with Shortgrid. And this, I would say, NCP is kind of other thing that the venue that allow us to kind of identify these patterns way faster. So it was surprised a lot.
Oh, that's incredible. So creating those creative dynamic circumstances, right, for people to be able to use your MCP server, that's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Absolutely. And to you as well, same question.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, PixVerse is one of the leading AI video model company across globe. So we see so many different types of user behavior. But one thing we noticed last year is after we released our Wi-Fi model, we thought like people is trying to make a good video out of our video model. Actually, it's not. And we see a group of the people is trying to just asking so many different questions on their kind of generative video. Say, hey, can we keep this kind of character? And asking is just move different directions. And can we asking is just different lighting direction? And can we just keep the thing and even add just a boyfriend to this kind of female? It's been very funny. Actually, we see they are not just making a good video. They try to see what will happen if I do this. Actually, that's a kind of fundamental difference. because they don't want to say, hey, just make a good video for me. What they want is, hey, can you just give a word that I can direct interact to, right? Because they really want to change over time. And meanwhile, when we go deeper with that, we say, okay, they have more demand. Actually, they want to share this kind of video model and with kind of model kind of audience. They even want to have more people even to join them to play together. So actually, that's fundamentally changed our model road path. And besides, we continue to do this kind of video model. And we added a new one, is we call it real-time interactive and word model. Actually, that is kind of getting very popular, and when we released at the beginning of this year, that's kind of good learning and for us as a like AI video and model company.
Very insightful as well. So that really got things going, especially when people started hearing about it, and then it caught on, right? So it's very incredible.
Actually, word model is very popular. Maybe half of the like Silicon Valley company are spending money on that one.
Well, it certainly speaks to how awesome the product is, right? If people are able to talk to others about it and want to use it just from that experience, so very good to hear that. The way we're going to divide the questions up from now is we're going to take it over 3 parts. The first part will be questions that are kind of based on each of you, right? So I'll have questions for you, specific questions for you and you. Then we'll open it up to rapid fire questions where I'll give questions for a quick response from each of you, right? And then if we have time, if time permits, we'll do some questions from the audience as well. So for starters, we'll start the first portion to Carrie Sue, and then we may open these questions up to the panel as well, depending on time. But for starters, my first question to you is, when producing a great piece of creative work, which factor is the most critical? Would you say it's the strength of the model? Would you say it's the quality or the origin of the idea? Would you say it's the creative tools, or would you say it's something else?
Okay. So from my observation, I'm not sure which part is the most critical, but from my observation, most of the people are chasing the SOTA models. But in my opinion, so maybe what we try to do our best is helping our customer to get the SOTA results. So for example, I think the most popular video models maybe is like CDance in the previously few months. But when the PixVerse released their new model, we have our team internal analyzing their new model, and we found out they actually have advantage in e-commerce solution. So we communicate to all of our e-commerce customers, say maybe you can consider using PixVerse model, and then maybe they have some advantage in the results and then the cost competitive. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So it certainly goes to show that when the numbers, right, and you're finding ways to help people to utilize your platform, being competitive, especially with pricing, what a difference that makes, right? And people want to be able to utilize and benefit from that. So that's really nice. Sure.
I mean, we have a lot of, I would say, visibility of the market because we are very horizontal and we build tools on top of the models. I think that there are many aggregators. You can get these models from many places. If the model, let's say you can get the model anywhere, models are gonna keep getting better. I think the main difference right now for building really great products is that you have the willingness to go through the pains of the creative process. And it is because AI makes when you're creating something, normally the first part is very easy to achieve or it's pretty fast to achieve. When they're coming from the rough idea to the first prototype. And AI is reducing that to almost zero. Before it might take you maybe 3 days, 1 week. And then the last 20% might take you the same amount of time, or 2 times or 3 times. But now with AI, that comparison is too huge because now it's instant, but going through the pain and going through the iterations and going through the willingness to go through this to create something great, I think way less people would like to go through it because now it doesn't consume 2 ads, consumes 100 ads in that initial step. So I think paint. We really need to go through paint. Is that still in an era of AI? Still that what is going to get you to a great product?
Well, that's well said.
Yeah, I do want to add one thing about this one. I'm from model company, but I won't think like model is the most important. I think that today, the most important is the idea, is the creator, and who really have a good idea. That's the most important. If I think about those recent together, the model is determining and what is the possible of the space. The tool is just, determine the efficiency, how you navigate the space. While the idea matter most is because it determines and who really care about what you create. So that is why the idea and the taste are most critical and from my point of view. The here is especially and when the AI, especially the advanced AI model tool are accessible for everyone. Everyone can easily and create those kind of the content or video is everywhere. Then what makes it different is about the creator who really have a good idea. So the AI can make you easy to create, but it does not make every idea is a good idea. So that's why I'm saying idea is the most important thing. By the way, I'm a new creator, so that's why I'm saying it's very hard for me to find out good ideas.
Well, well said. No, absolutely. It really depends on that, right? And that comes from someone to really dive deep with what their idea is. And then AI can be used as inspiration, right? To really build out. And that's where some of these platforms can really help sort of accelerate that inspiration as well.
Yeah, I like the term like the experiment because really the creative work like need many like experiment in different other directions.
Well said as well. Absolutely. Going to the next question. This is also for Gary, and then we'll open it up as well. Can you share an important problem that your company quietly solves for customers? One that has a meaningful impact, but also goes unnoticed.
Okay, so I think one problem we can solve quietly is to provide a reliable service. So like actually, Image 2 is a popular image generation model, and then a few months ago, so for this model, there's two main infrastructure provider. One is Microsoft, and another one is OpenAI. And then a few months ago, we noticed the request to the OpenAI to Microsoft keep response slowly, and then we noticed there might be some issues, so we quietly routing all the requests to the OpenAI. So I think our end user can use our service reliably, but they didn't notice we actually spent a lot of effort to make all these service reliable to our end customers.
Well said as well. So very important that there is some things done on the back end, right, to ensure that the customer has a very good experience when using that platform. Makes all the difference in the world. Very good.
Oh, yeah, I want to add one thing about for PixVerse, right? PixVerse is kind of because we're not a company, I think. We think right now the customer didn't aware that we are focused on is trying to reduce the cost of trying different ideas. I just want our term, okay, the experiment. And because the creative work really need a lot of the experiment, you need to try different of the creative, you need to try different of the direction, and which one resonate and with your intent and with your idea. That's matter most. But when you need like very expensive experiment, or when you need to take a long time to do those kind of experiment, naturally people will just try this, right? It's limited the people are kind of creativity. And PixVerse is working very hard to provide the fastest and also most affordable of the video model and for our like 150 million operator across global. So actually that's not some people have to pay attention. But I think we are doing those kind of work and silently, and people will come to us. And when they realize the PixVerse model is being really good at like quality, speed, and the cost.
Yeah, that's really a great point. I think finding ways to reduce cost will bring more people to the platform to want to try out and encourage people, as you said, to really work on and focus on their ideas. I think that's really great. right? And that's a great problem to try to solve for your platform, because it certainly will add more users will want to be able to experience that when trying to work in their sandbox, right, so to speak. Awesome, very good. Any other thoughts on that question? Okay, very good. We'll move on. Let's go to the next question. What are your most common problems your customers ask you to solve today? Would you say they're primarily focused on reducing costs, improving stability, producing better content, or would you say it's simplifying workflows, or even something else?
I think for us it's most about the ultimate level of quality and I would say control. So those two, we always try to build tools that are around that spectrum. So everything that we hear is about these two. I think that's also something to take into account is that there are so many models, there are so many capabilities that the users they still have a lot of troubles to explore and to discover them. So in that sense, I think we try not to cater or to design workflows that allow them to get faster to those results. So I think everything, as I say, I repeat myself again because there is control and quality.
Yeah, so since we have a large group of users, we see different they asking from different people, but I can divide it into two opposite directions. The first group we call is kind of everyday creature. Those people is just hey, please and follow my intent. I just give you a few words. Give me what I want. Those people don't want to like detailedly describing everything. Like hey, give me like what kind of camera angle and VFX shot. And no, they don't understand the word. And they even don't have a good computer. They just have a phone, right? So they just give me a few words. Give me what I want. So that's kind of one direction the people is been asking. The second one is professional creator and the enterprise. Why is in totally opposite is because it's really asking our model to provide precisely a kind of fine control and over and what they want. They want to describe a very detailed like what is kind of the angle the people need to stand, how the light is going to project on her face, what is kind of eye, kind of the color is going very, very detailed. So this is kind of something to totally direct. Is because one is asking is, hey, you make the decision, AI make the decision for him. Another one is, no, I don't need AI make a decision. I need you follow my decision. So that's why I say this is kind of a little bit interesting challenge and for our mother company to try to provide both in single model. Yeah.
I think that's well said as well. I'm going to actually move to you now on this, and just kind of piggybacking off of that that mindset. A question directed to you, John. Who is the major driver of AI media today? And are we seeing a new class, would you say, emerge of creator? Maybe even something like the AI director?
Yeah, that's a good question, really good question. So when looking at the existing of the user base, we are seeing the AI media is pretty much dominated by the existing creator from all kind of community. Like we know there are like 3 or 5 kind of community like cross, like from like LA and from New York and even from Europe and those kind of things. It's pretty much still dominant with one thing. But one group of the people very active. They spend like thousands of the dollars per month and on our website. Those users we call it AI director. And why we call it AI director? I can give you one thing is a group of the people in Brazil. And those people is been very young, 18 to like 21, and they just one person have one studio. And they can do all those kind of commercial, and they even publish like a 15 minutes kind of video in 1 week, and win like kind of a top award across the globe. Those kind of good people, so what's the difference for them? Right? I just want to say, those people is not just someone who is good at prompting. Let's maybe take an example, like for example, right now we have film director, we have commercial director. And what those kind of director people is doing. And those people is doing just to say, hey, try to keep and what they really want and bring everything together. That's their major kind of job. Like when I say everything together, is everything including kind of like the story and everything like kind of the character and the camera and even like editing, voice and visual effect, all of those things together. It's been a very hard job. But now those kind of the things and can be done by a single person with the help of AI in each of those things. So actually this just to tell that it requires different of the skill and from previous of those kind of role. Then the people used to try to say, hey, how do I know every tool? But now they didn't switch. Is they didn't ask themselves, what do I want to create? That's a fundamental difference from us. That's why I'm saying, hey, actually the prompting here is just one thing. The prompting is not directing at all. But directing is more like you know what you want to create from the start to the end. The end means like even go to the publishing, right?
Makes a lot of sense. So as long as you have that flow and that vision in your mind from start to finish, it's easier for you to be able to map things out and use that inspiration that you kind of eloquently said.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense on that front. Would you say, just kind of thinking about that as well, if we look towards the future, right, at the horizon, what would you say, what role will these models play, right, in the next generation of AI media?
Do you want to talk about is a word model or is just kind of video model? Because here, will this be one observation for me is about the whole AI media is in a quick shifting of the three stages. And the first stage is we call it generation. I think this generation is more about like, hey, can you just make awesome of the clip, or you can just like make something is happening is really amazing. And in past like 2 years, pretty much most have been 2 years AI cloud comes to this one. The second stage we call it production. The production is like way more than just the generation. It's more like how can you really making something happen and repeatably and in scale. Instead of just give me one thing is being cool, but I cannot repeat it. That's been very super hard. It's also kind of blocking issue and for kind of most of the studio try to adopt of the AI. So that's we call it the second stage. This year, this stage is going to finish. Pretty much it's going to be full ready and for all of the studio. But looking forward, actually in third stage, we call it simulation. The simulation is a kind of our word, it can be a new media and for like whole kind of the AI media kind of thing. Because people can really interact with those kind of media and people can stay inside those kind of world and decide what will happen instead of being very passively to what and what has been recorded or generated. So that will be the third stage. So that's why I'm saying, hey, put in the summary because so far those kind of AI media is being in those kind of three stages. We are now in the second stage and quickly we are going into the third stage.
Well said, appreciate that. Well, these next group of questions are going to be catered to Jose, so let's make sure he's ready for these. So a quick question, what does it look like to build a creative system at scale that reacts in real time? And what has to change technically and creatively in order to get there?
I think, as he was saying, the next generation is going to be about interaction. I think right now we're in a phase where we are in a phase of centralization because all the creative knowledge of the brand, the creative knowledge of the companies is scattered around many people, scattered around many departments. And I think that centralization and that means the set of rules that define who you are as a brand. What is the voice? What are the, in a more basic level, what is your typography? What are your colors? What is the everything that you as a company has decided that makes you you? As long as you centralize that knowledge into a single context base, you will be able to then use it in any tool that you have. And that's something that we're building in the sense of we are trying to build a system of which allow to be the first line of defense to say in that way to any request that your user have. So for example, today creatives spend a lot of time on doing communications through Instagram, doing Instagram posts, doing maybe sending emails, or designing emails. So I think all of that can be taken care of a system that knows who you are, and then add accordingly to a more, let's say, more customized answer to your user, which today are only images, but tomorrow we know to the trends that are gonna be real time, maybe video, that it's actually on, for example, you was talking about the even realities, and then you will receive how maybe you will look with your realities and what you can achieve with them. And that is on brand, but that then you can also build that maybe inside PixVerse with their own models, and then you can create videos. So you will start getting this type of, I would say, almost real time on message on brand, and the things that we're building and the tools that we're building. For example, we have a node-based canvas where you can select all these type of, I would say, truth for you, for your brand, and then you can, from those truths, then you can, the content can react, and you can serve it through NCP, serve it through APIs, through different, I would say, applications or websites that you have. In the back, if you want to see something about that, Enrique with Fabuz, so he can show you some of those examples. But more or less, it's about taking everything that is scattered, centralize it, and then after that centralization, define what is truth for you, and then apply it to the systems that face the users, which are gonna get the content that is more on brand, that hopefully will get more engagement, and then you get more revenue. That's kind of the whole model.
Oh, very good. Well said. Well, we're going to try to enter into our rapid fire questions. These are open to everybody, so we'll ask all of you guys the same questions, right? So let's start here with Gary. Are users currently asking for a better quality, greater creative control, faster generation, or easier workflows? Which one of those do you think matter most?
I think from my experience, they're asking for same quality but way lower price, and that's why we are really good at.
What's talking about PixVerse?
I think we are in the other spectrum. It's ultimate quality. So they ask us for ultimate quality, no matter price, and more control.
I think that's been controllability. That's been more important. But I want to expand further because this is more about production. Then actually, the customer need kind of those kind of four things here. We always define four things. The first thing is about those kind of consistent. The second thing is about control. The third thing is about continuity. The last thing is about cost. This kind of four things together, because that's what summary is what we are talking about.
Very good. Excellent. Next question. Will creators continue to work directly with individual tools, or will they increasingly work with agents that coordinate multiple tools and models on their behalf? Interesting question. I'll start with you first.
Well, yeah, I think, again, I want to just put into different level, maybe different group of user. For everyday creator, and they want maybe the agent, being very simple, asking question, give me the answer, and they don't want to understand everything what's behind. They just want something in work and it's been amazing. They want to publish in on the social network. So the agent is going to be great for them. But for professional, and what they need is about maybe both. It's basically mean they need a kind of the agent to orchestrate everything together, while they also want to keep control of like every kind of the shop and how does it generate all this kind of thing together. That's why for professional, maybe they need both. But they think about maybe 1 year later, none of those may be necessary, maybe, because maybe the model will be evolved into much powerful than before, but the model still just kind of something more generation or production kind of tool. But here, like, the point is like maybe in the future it's not about agent versus a tool. It's more about the control level for different group of the people. What is best for them?
Yeah, well said. Jose, please.
I would say professionals, they prefer AI in the background. So they face the software and the AI is in the background doing all settings and configurations and giving hints of how to improve. And I would say maybe next generation of creative is gonna be agent based, but this generation is still the prefer in the background.
Absolutely. Okay, very good. And then back to you, please.
Okay, I think I would say agents will be more popular in the near future since it lower the difficulty to use these tools and then like Magnific also build good agents, so that I mean we change our product roadmap to like building the skills for other agents and so for all the new people to they can create the content easily using agents. So I'm guessing the agent will be more popular in the near future.
Very good. And then one final fire question I'll ask. We'll start with Gary again on this side. The question is, what is one part of the creative process that you personally would not delegate to AI, even if AI could complete it faster?
I would say using my own imagination. So I mean, being a human being, you just want to enjoy that part of the process. You don't want to hand over that part to the AI.
I think for me as a product builder, I just love to know how things work and to actually feel like what's the rationale or even the physics behind. So out of a thing of my preference, I would never do that because I just get so much enjoyment from it.
I think the thing is about judgment is judgment on what kind of content is worth to creating and what kind of content is worth publishing. And because AI video is a very powerful tool, it can generate many NSFW content. I think people believe this kind of work. We should be responsible for very part kind of actually essay and responsive. Those ones can only be done by human, by person, not by AI.
Absolutely. Three great answers. Certainly the direction where we're going is clear, and it's just a matter of us being able to catch up to what's going on at this rate, right, with all the features that are coming out. So very impressive. Let's give our panelists a round of applause.
Thank you.